Hi, everyone, and welcome to the One Podcast. I am so excited about our guest today. Her name is Tiffani Barton, but the first thing I noticed when I went to research her for you, I want you to hear this because this is my favorite thing. Quote unquote, I help nice girls speak for themselves. And the minute I read that, I thought, okay, we have to talk about this because I feel like from the time we are little, we're taught to be nice. And most of us strive for that. I want to
Mhm.
be a nice person. In fact, it's drilled into us. Everyone says, be nice. You're not very nice. But there's such a unique way in the way you said, I help nice girls speak up for themselves. So tell us where that came from. I loved that so much. And then tell us about you, how you got to where you're at. And then I want to talk about what you're doing. So jump right
Yes,
in.
yes. Lisa, I am a former nice girl, and it was like you said, it was a calling card. It was who I was nice, like making everyone feel comfortable, going out of my way to be nice. And so it is weird to think, oh, I shouldn't be nice. I
Yeah.
should actually be nice. It's very weird. And the thing is, how I explain it is that it's really more of an inner nice girl. It's
Yes.
this
Tell more.
inner nice girl. Everyone has an inner nice girl, but in some people, the inner nice girl grows and grows. And she starts to take over and she runs the show. And when the inner nice girl is running the show, it's actually quite dangerous because the inner nice girl does things for all the wrong reasons. And
Mm.
what can happen is you can lose sight of so much, and you can lose sight of even the most dangerous part is of who you are, and not knowing who you are and just letting this inner nice girl say, okay, I'll do that. Or if it's for the greater good, okay, I'll put myself out, and starts innocently enough, but it can really get out of hand. And then, like I said, it's dangerous. So it's funny because I don't know, I'm not a girl. This is
Yeah.
what I say on my Facebook Live. I'm not a girl, I'm a woman. But even as a grown woman, there was an inner nice girl inside of me
Mhm.
who had really overextended her reach. And thankfully, I had a mentor at my job, my first job in business, and he was able to really, he laid it out for me. Listen, I know you want to be a killer. I know you want to be a shark. Like, you are way too nice. No one is going to take you seriously. And I
Uh,
was like,
wait. That's.
yeah.
I think we definitely are going to have to clarify for this some because even the first second I heard it, I was like, wait a minute. So I think for the listeners and the viewers, we're not saying don't be nice. And tell me if I'm wrong. So this is how I've interpreted my feeling as you're talking. So my feeling is from the time I'm little, I'm taught to be nice, and you want to be nice to your friends and nice to your siblings and nice at church, and then you make friends because you're nice. So I remember for me, I was nice to everyone. I had low self-esteem, so I would be nice, and that made me make friends. And then as time went on, where I'm interpreting that nice girl is I carried that into sometimes I wouldn't speak my opinion, sometimes I wouldn't. I would set aside what I was hoping for and what I was dreaming for to please the other person or to just keep the status quo. And so I had
Ah,
carried that nice girl forward. And then I love that you just said, even the nice girl comes into being a lady, being a woman. The nice girl comes into your business place, into your relationships. And there's a difference between being nice. And I loved what you said about her overextending and overreaching. So it is, I could feel the minute you started talking, this is a really good conversation for every woman who hears this. And I really want anybody who hears this or sees this to contemplate this for yourself. Where am I the nice girl? So give us some specifics in how you would define the inner nice girl that helps
Yeah.
people to define that inside.
Okay. There are 50 shades of nice girl. So
I'm already loving this conversation so much.
yeah,
I got to write that down. Okay. 50 Shades of Nice
50
Girl.
shades of nice girl. So
Mhm.
it can look a lot of different ways. It can look like it can look like you have no choices.
Mm.
It can look like if you're saying to a friend, "Oh my God, my whole entire weekend is packed, like from the whole thing. Why don't you cancel? I have no choice. Oh my God, my this, that, this, that, this, that." Someone says, "Can't you?" I have no choice. When you feel like you have no options, you feel stuck, that is normally an inner nice girl, like a deep inner nice girl. Like she's really gotten too big. Like you're way overcommitted. You're doing so many things you don't want to do. And you
Mm.
feel, yeah, a lot of doing things you don't want to do.
Saying
Um,
yes when you should have said no to
yep.
please people,
Yeah.
and then not having the courage to cancel, putting yourself first,
Yeah.
and then also the I'm powerless to
Yeah.
change what I already created. So three different wrapped up in that. Okay, I'm loving
Right.
this. I'm getting this. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, and the powerlessness, that's really when this is a really crucial way that you'll know. We all have to do things we don't want to do. It's not like life is all rainbows all the time. It is, though.
I do what I want all the time. Just
I
kidding.
mean,
No,
yes,
we can't.
we all have to do things that we don't want to do, but there is a there's a difference and you know it. Like that, what you said. I should have said no, but I said yes. And
Mhm.
now I don't have the courage to go back. But it can also look like little things. Like if you are finding yourself, I always say, pay attention to your behaviors. If you're finding yourself like muttering under your breath as people walk off,
Mm.
that is a sign that you're like you're resentful, you've been overextended, like you're
Okay.
doing things you don't want. It's starting to come out. So the inner nice girl can run wild and wreak havoc, and it shows up in big ways and in really small ways. So a client of mine was not actually, I have two stories from a client. So one was a client was at an event with a couple of friends, and someone was calling her the wrong name. And she was very annoyed that the person was calling her the wrong name, but she had let her call the wrong name for weeks.
Oh.
For weeks.
Ah.
Yeah. And so she
Oh.
brings this to our coaching. And I said, at what point are you going to tell her your name? Because she's going to keep saying the wrong name. And
Yeah.
she feels like it's just gone on for so long. Now she feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's this kind of thing I work with my clients on, where having that courage to, this is such a small example, but it
Yes.
gets under your skin.
It does. It does.
That takes up so much mental energy and just drains you. And now every time she sees the person, she feels disempowered. Have you experienced? I have experienced things like this in my life where it's just a disempowering situation that doesn't need to be. Yeah. So, yeah, that's one example. Another one, another coaching client, a friend, they were at a conference and a whole bunch of people from the conference wanted to go to a club.
Okay.
She was like, no, like such a no on that.
No, I am
Yeah,
having fun. Not doing that.
not doing that.
Uh-huh.
That's what her heart said. And a friend, her the person she was rooming with was like, oh, okay, if you don't go, I won't go. And that made her feel like, oh no, I'm
Ah.
hindering her time, like her freedom,
Mm.
her fun. And it made her go in this like inner struggle.
Yes.
And so it created this 2 hour long conversation between the two of them. And she was like, make it stop. And so if she could do it over, it would just be, no, I'm not going. And that's on you. If you're
Yes.
letting me ruin your time, that is on you. But I am not going, and you are welcome to go. Bye bye.
I- And what's funny about that is it's two women having a conversation, but actually two inner nice girls having a
Yes,
conversation.
exactly,
It's
Lisa.
so
Exactly.
disguised.
It's
I,
two more nice girls.
this
Two
is
more nice
so,
girls.
yes, it
They'll
appears to
never
have
get anywhere.
it appears two grown women, and yet it's actually two inner nice girls. If you,
Totally.
I will let, I love this so much because I'm betting anyone who listens or anyone who watches, you can think of at least five examples. The catch that I'm really feeling is the accountability. And I think that's a part of the thing I always focus on is okay, we have the inner nice girl, but like you were saying, the resentment in she's not calling me the right name. There's a way to make that really light. There's a way to take on the ownership. I can see, and when you were saying someone walks away and you mumble under your breath, I thought, you know what? I've done that before. And my instantaneous feeling was, why do they always come to me for everything? I do everything. I'm the, like, why are you going to add one more thing to my plate? Or
Yeah.
that's your responsibility. And I already haven't. And yet, right there is where I recognized as you were talking, this is my accountability. I'm putting the blame, and yet it's my inner nice girl that said subconsciously somewhere along the line or out loud, I'm willing to take on everything. I will do it
Right.
so well. I will take on your responsibility and I will do it so flawlessly. You will come to me for everything because I want your approval. And it makes me feel good to do such a good job.
Oh
I
my
think,
God.
yes, it is the we're not always intending to be nice. We are intending to be nice, but it's also intermingled with that
Oh, big
acceptance and
time.
approval.
It,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, I know. It's rich. Like it's rich and it's deep and it is. It's approval, being liked, being accepted. And the thing is, these are hardwired. It's literally since the cavemen. Like if you weren't accepted into the tribe, you'll die
You'll
on
die.
your own. People, you need the community, you need the warmth. And it's not that way anymore. Like we still are social beings and we need connection, but we won't physically die out in the cold like it was back in the primitive days. So
Yes.
it's like our brains that really we have to talk to. And that's what I advise my clients to do. Like we have to really tell our bodies and our brains like it is safe. It is safe to
Yes.
say no. It's safe to, gosh, Lisa, it's safe to answer something with one word. As polite women, it was
Yeah.
like I was brought up, you don't, that's barking. You don't bark at anybody. You don't say yes, no, yes, no.
Yeah.
But as an adult, it's like sometimes that is not my name. Or would you like that? Yes. What about this? No. It's
Yeah.
okay.
And I didn't mean to interrupt. You have my brain going. So, two things that I think we could help clarify, actually, two that are two strains of thought. I think for a lot of our audience, it will be people who are on social media and are involved with social media. So, back with the example of you had to be a part of the tribe or you would die, there is still this very strong fear of if I'm not the nice girl, I could, and there's a lot of verbal, I hate saying the word attacks, but there are so many people that will say mean things just because they want to online. So no matter
Mm,
how vocal you are, there is a thing about I will not be accepted, or I will be kicked out, or I will have horrible things said about me if I'm not nice. So I can see where that plays
yeah.
out even bigger in our social media world. And then
Yeah.
listeners, this is a brand new thing to them. It's going through, they're listening, they're taking this in. I'm sure the next question in their heads is, what do I replace that with? If I'm not nice, does it have to, because you think nice or mean
Mm,
or nice
yeah.
or abrupt? I still want to be nice. What do I do? Talk about what is the next step or what you recommend to your clients.
I love that because I just did a riff on my Telegram channel about the opposite of a nice girl is not the mean girl.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, the
Talk more about
opposite of
that.
a nice girl is not the mean girl. And that is what we tend to think. Many of us tend to think in black and white like that. So
Yes.
it's very normal. And the truth is, the opposite of a nice girl is a woman in her power.
A confident
Confident
woman.
woman. Yeah, that's the opposite of a nice girl. She is confident because you are still nice, you are still kind. And actually, once I was able to shrink my inner nice girl to her appropriate size, I actually became a lot more generous
Yes.
and a lot more giving because now I'm not so just resentful, overgiving with an empty cup. I am now in a state of balance, overflow
Mhm.
even. And so it's easier for me to give. And your earlier point in terms of bullying and attacking and people not liking you, the funny thing is, Lisa, is that we think, and the inner night school really wants us to think, we have to stay like this. We have to stay
Mhm.
this big, and I
Mhm.
have to run the show, or else no one will like you, and you're going to get bullied, and it's all going to be bad.
Right.
But people will not like you anyway.
Right.
People still
Right.
don't like you, right?
Yes.
So many people just detest when they can tell you're trying to be nice. A lot of people can just smell the an inner nice girl and they're like, ugh, like
Yeah.
so put off. Some people are just haters no matter what. I think my dad and one of my ex-boyfriends, both of them, it was like, ugh, like the more I tried to make things okay and acquiesce, and
Oh,
they were like, ugh, ew.
yeah.
And me and my dad have an amazing relationship because I can hold my own with him
Oh.
so much
I feel this so much. I loved what you had said, and we talked a little bit about this before we got on. Our coach that we both loved so dearly, Melanie, which is how we met, she had done a thing that had hit me years ago about the difference between being nice and being kind. And I had always assumed they were the same thing. So I want to plant this little seed in with everything she's saying. If you're struggling with, I don't how to not don't know how to not be nice, and I'm intertwining that inner nice girl, I want you to separate, okay, I'm going to outgrow my inner nice girl, and my womanhood is going to choose the opportunities where I want to be kind and generous. And what you were saying, which I loved, which was as you came more into your confidence, you were choosing more opportunities of where to be. So, and I think that's the difference is, and this just popped in my head, the inner nice girl is seeking some sort of approval or love or welcoming, or what's the word I'm looking for? It's along with approval. And that the kind woman is just naturally coming from her heart. And
yeah.
so kindness, in if I were to differentiate and make my own definitions, I'm going to
Yes,
choose that
do it.
kind comes from the heart and nice is seeking some sort of approval.
Yeah, I think that is a good, that's a, I think a good way to just help your listeners and to help people understand the difference because it isn't, it's not like, it's funny. Sometimes I think about this because I'm online a lot,
Mhm.
and in online groups like what we're in.
Yeah.
And then I go outside and bike down the street and I feel like Barbie in my neighborhood because I know a bunch of people and I'm like, hey, man, hey, man, hey, man. And it's like this, that still looks like a nice girl.
Mhm.
But that is genuinely me. I'm like
Yes.
so up and happy riding my bike in my neighborhood. So there are just times that it's still it's okay to be nice, but to be
Yeah.
taken advantage of, to be manipulated, to
Mhm.
lose sight of who you are, to be friends with people that basically they don't deserve you. Be friends with people who give you nothing, to be in relationships where it's the wrong relationship and you know it. Like this is the nice girl running the show, and
Yes.
it can get deep and it can even affect your health.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, being the nice girl. So I have a book and I wrote a whole section on how to advocate for yourself at the doctor's office
oh my.
because
And what's your book called?
it's called Shed: The Secret to Unleashing Vibrant Health, Passionate Love, and Ultimate Freedom. So
Ooh.
it's not, oh, it's like very dear to my heart because I talk about a period of time where I went through a debilitating illness, and I was able to shed the nice girl in business. So that happened first, but I was still had an overactive nice girl in my relationships and at the doctor's office and with my parents. And that was a lot harder for me to get rid of. And when I got sick, this is when I became the one.
Yes. Tell us. Okay, I can see where I've overcome the nice girl in this category, but I don't know how to be 100% myself with my parents, or I still don't know how to not get myself into relationships that aren't healthy for me, or I don't know how to end friendships that I've let go on too long that no longer. So, talk to us about that experience for you that you what was the debilitating that what you were just saying? I went through this illness and that's how I discovered I was the one. This is going to be really helpful.
Yeah, okay. So the illness that I had was very mysterious. It was like very long and drawn out. And I had moved to LA to be with my boyfriend at the time. So I was not around, I didn't have established doctors there. I lived in New York for 14 years
Yeah.
and then to LA. And he had a big group of friends, my ex-boyfriend, and they were very nice. But it's not like I didn't have my people. I didn't
Yes.
have my people, my doctors, my town that I'm used to. And then doctors just could not diagnose me. They just could not figure out what the heck was going on. And it went on for a very long time. And finally, I noticed that no one knew what the heck was going on. And so they sent me for every test under the sun, Lisa. Like I had every body part MRI'd. Like it was
Wow.
like every test under the sun, constantly getting blood tests. And everyone's just saying to come back in 2 weeks. So I'm months and months, like 8, 9 months in, and I'm going to all these follow ups, and no one still knows anything. And it was like something changed. I was like, they're just going to keep having me come back for follow ups,
Yeah.
but they still don't know what's going on. No one could help me. Like my boyfriend couldn't help me. My friends couldn't help me. Doctors couldn't help me. And I really got it. It just became clear. Oh, wait, like I am my doctor. And then I am my everything. I am my everything. And I was like canceling appointments. Yeah, I'll never see you again. Bye bye. It was like, I
Bye-bye.
got this. It was just so different. It was a whole energy change because you don't realize, but you can go into a doctor's office thinking the nice girl thinks they're better than me. Big fancy degree. And
Yes.
I just have an undergrad from Missouri. Like I'm just the nice girl,
Or a GED or yeah.
whatever. Yeah, whatever anyone
Absolutely.
has. And so it really taught me I know my body, I
Mhm.
know myself, I
Yeah.
know how I'm supposed to feel. You can tell me I'm okay, but I know I'm not. And I
Something
don't,
is wrong. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. Keep
So
going.
anyway, that became a whole, and Lisa, honestly, I don't recommend researching your own health problems and becoming your own doctor. That's not actually what I recommend.
Disclaimer, disclaimer,
Yeah.
not in the
Yeah.
book, making sure we make that clear. Do not be your own doctor
Oh, yeah.
as
Yes.
far as treating yourself with crazy
Yeah.
things, but definitely listen to your body
But
and
yeah,
find your voice.
and know that you're the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I talk about in my book is it's about we can go to doctors and this applies to everything. We
Yes.
accidentally go to people and things outside of us and tell them wishy-washy information.
Yeah.
We're unclear, but we want an answer, and then they're unclear. And so it turns into this thing that is just, it turns into drama. It turns into a lack of peace. It turns into a lack of freedom, and you feel trapped. So, my advice is always find the clearest words possible, like finding really that clarity, knowing how you feel, knowing what you want. Doesn't mean you go in somewhere guns blazing. Again, it's not the opposite of a nice girl, is not being mean,
No.
still being respectful, still being polite, but being able to say, I am debilitatingly tired.
Yes.
I can't stand for longer than 5 minutes.
Mm.
That is it. I can't walk longer than 50 feet without needing to sit. We have to measure these things and bring that to the doctor.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then they can tell you, I'm not the person for you, or whatever. And it's the same with our friends and in our relationships. What causes a lot of drama is that if we don't know what we want, again, it's the nice girls like that, like just
And the
sort of,
lack of communication,
yes,
clear communication about
you're
what you want. Keep
taking the
going.
time to really know that and going into any conversation knowing what you want. It doesn't mean you're going to bulldoze someone, but
No.
starting with knowing what you want is just so key. And that shrinks your nice girl a little bit more every single time that you do that.
It's so perfect that you have claimed this because as you're talking, it is here is how we address the inner nice girl. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no judgment. She's just become overactive and she's reaching into things that you've outgrown, and that every situation can change if you notice it first and then you start to pay more attention to your inner voice. What is it that I want? Where have I been seeking approval? Where have I been overextending or overgiving? And then the answer is finding your voice. And I love that because in the beginning, you're looking for the solution. I'm looking for, okay, so what is the opposite of being nice? And it's not that, it's that, and it's which is part of becoming the one, which is okay, I'm going to start listening to myself. I'm going to start paying attention to, and I love that you gave specific examples. When someone walks away, what is your reaction to that? Are you mumbling under your breath? Are you resentful? When someone asks you for something, when you're in a relationship and you feel like I keep giving and you're not giving back to me, the key right there is you keep choosing to over giving. And I think that's one thing that I didn't face until I was in my 40s. And it's a foundation of my work, which is we are accountable for all of our choices. And that is a hard thing because a lot of our choices, we react instead of choosing with wisdom and with our own inner knowing. The hard part is to take a really hard, honest look at yourself in where your inner girl, that nice girl, is overreacting or having a play date. But in that, okay, here's the situation where she shows up too much. And now I am accountable for why she's showing up too much, but not in a judging way. Okay, I can recognize this. I can see that. I want you to pull up to the helicopter view above yourself and look down on the situations and say, okay, yep, I recognize it. I'm accountable. I'm responsible for this. So now I can choose differently, which is then very empowering. And then in the choosing differently, how do I start doing that? And then we go back to exactly what you said, which is in the knowing I am the only one who can speak best for myself. So I need to get very specific with the things that are going on in my life. And I love words. Like I've been studying words on a side topic. Like you don't just say you're mad covers a
Like,
lot of other things. You don't
yes.
if you're hurting, why are you hurting? Without the I'm hurting because I'm mad at you because you asked me to do this. It is I feel some hurt. I feel some sadness. And I'm going to look at why. I'm going to look underneath these things. I'm going to find the voices in me that are trying to say, this makes me sad because I'm sad because I'm hurt because, and normally it's because the inner girl made a choice that your woman didn't want to make. We let her
Ooh,
lead, right?
oh
So I
my God.
think this is the wisdom of I love that your work is taking that nice girl and helping her find her voice. That's so beautiful.
Oh my gosh. And you nailed it because it is the words. In my book, I write that, and now I don't remember how many words, but there are so many words in the English language, and it's
Uh,
estimated that we use like 1% of them or something crazy like that. I have that in my book, but finding other words. How are you doing today? I'm fine. How was your work day? It was okay. Like we need to be able to express ourselves a little bit better. And that's on us to say that. And even to say something like, gosh, I don't think I even know right now. I'm going to need a minute because it was a big day. I'm going to need a minute, but I would like to describe it to you in a second. It really does come down to communication, and your inner nice girl, she needs to be heard. She
Mm-hmm.
really needs to be heard because she's just, she's almost turned into a mean girl is the thing, because she's
Mm-hmm.
overgiving so much and it's
Wow.
all for these wrong reasons.
Yes.
And it becomes like a real, like I said, it takes on a life of its own.
Mm-hmm.
So really listening to what your inner nice girl is saying can really tell you a lot. But the thing is that it can be uncomfortable.
Yes.
So it can be uncomfortable. And so that's where, again, like you were saying, accountability, responsibility comes into play. Where have I created this? Because maybe someone is a monster, but this dynamic, what I always say is we train people. We train people, and people have trained us too. And so we can look, there are things I would say to one person that I would never say to another, ever, because
Right.
they've trained me. This is
Mhm.
okay over here. This is not okay over here.
Yeah.
So we train people too. And what the inner nice girl trains people is that everything's okay.
Right. Oh, and that's key. This is key too. I'm not trying to interrupt, but it is something to think about. So, if you're driving or watching this video and listening, okay, so where have I trained people? Where have I been really, in fact, I do want to drop this. Where have you been really good at honoring, okay, my nice girl is not overactive here. I've actually set some, I don't love the word boundaries, but I've trained people we've trained each other well in this circumstance. That's what I'm looking for. In which aspects of your life have you trained each other well and you have good relationships with your children, with your spouse, with your families, in the workplace? Give yourself credit for where you have done it well. And then looking at, okay, in this circumstance, this is not working so well for me. So, where might I have trained them? And where might they have trained me? And then can I start listening to? So I want to recognize my little girl, my nice girl is still trying to have something met here. And then how can I start to find a better way to honor myself? And then when I loved when you said someone might be a monster, we're choosing to continue the interaction. If they are, or if we're deciding that they are, why are we choosing to continue the interaction? And so I think there's so much. Oh, this is just literally, we could go on for hours here, and we just spent all this time, but it's such a good topic. Is
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, before I get too far off, so you have written a book. Tell us how people can find you, and then we'll circle back into let's plant a couple seeds for how people can go from here to start working on this. But where can
Yeah.
people find you? Where are all
Yes.
your favorite places?
All the things. I'm on Instagram, and that's at Tiffani Barton Official. And I spell my name with an I,
Mhm.
Tfani, Barton Official. And then on Facebook as Tiffani Barton. Those are really the two places I'm the most active. I go live a lot on Facebook, and then on Instagram, I'm around. And then I
What's
have
your
a
website?
website called innersovereign.com.
Okay.
Inner Sovereign is, once your inner nice girl, like I was saying earlier, how if she gets too big, it can be dangerous
Mm.
because you can lose yourself. That's the
Yeah.
worst thing that can happen. Inner sovereign is that, just always having that sovereignty.
Mm.
I'm uncomfortable, but I'm okay. I'm me, and I'll never leave me. That's that inner
Mm.
sovereignty. So that is my website. And there are a couple of fun things on my website too. If anyone wants to give their email address, I have a couple of little guides, and I have a self-awareness quiz. If you guys would want to be interested in that, I'd love that.
And you have a book. Tell them about your book one more time.
Yes. So the book Shed, it is available on Amazon, also on my social media. And this is as of right after this podcast. I've decided to give it away for free.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
depending on when we actually release this, it may not be, but as of right now, it is. And then if it's not when you find it, reach out to her and let her know you had either seen her on YouTube or saw or listened to her podcast and see what she can do. But that's amazing.
Yeah, I just decided, you know what? Like, I just feel like every woman needs this. Every woman can be served. And if not, then send it to someone else that could serve them. So I'm giving away the PDF myself. So on Amazon, if you like a or a soft cover book,
Ooh.
that's on Amazon. And yeah, that's regular price. But a PDF, I would just be so happy to give it away to everybody.
I
So
think that is beautiful because there's definitely, and if there happens to be some men that got into this as well, there's an inner nice guy too. This isn't just for women. And I love
oh,
that.
definitely. Yeah,
But I love that you're one, that you've made it clear this is how we start. That is what your purpose is, to help nice girls, inner nice girls, start using their voice. And then you have a whole body of work that is on returning to your inner sovereign. And that's what you help people with. You coach people on that. Your mission is that. And I think all of us can use that at any age. And man, I wish I would have found this stuff younger, because if you can find it younger and find your voice and really balance, you can be an inner nice girl. You can be a very kind girl. You don't have to wait to be a woman to figure all of this out. And I think it's
sure.
really fantastic that I remember looking on your stuff. I loved that you had, one of your things was awakening your power to lead your life. And I thought, ooh, that is what you do. You are helping people to awaken their power to lead their life. And so, for those of you that have come across this, I really don't think things happen by chance. So I am thinking that there might be an aspect of your life where you may not resonate with the inner nice girl. Maybe you're over that, but maybe there is a part of you that would really like to have more power in your workplace, or maybe you're starting your own business, or maybe you have the idea to start your own business, or maybe you're someone who's thinking about writing a book and here's an author. So I'm hoping that for those of you that come across this at the right point in time for you, there is something that's connecting with, this woman knows how to help me to get really solid in my sovereignty and my power, which from that foundation, I can expand to create more of who I am and more of the impact I want to make on the planet. Oh, I love it.
Absolutely. So you got it. And it's funny because the inner nice girl, even though, like I said, I'm a woman, like whether you're a woman, a man, you can be very successful. You can be very successful, be married, have kids, have this great job, but there's a cap. When the inner nice girl is running the show, you can still get really far, but there is a cap. So if you want to take your business from 7 figures to 8 figures, if you want to get the CEO job, this is always something to look at. It's not just, I was in a really not good situation. So it's all of it. It's
Yeah.
all.
And I think that's key too. Like, you're never going to kill completely the inner nice part of you, but to balance it and awaken more of the power. And I feel that as you're saying it, it is calming down the why am I acting, saying, and behaving this way versus what is my inner knowing, my inner confidence, the me inside, the I am the one really wanting to express, to create, to experience in this moment. And that's what her work is, separating that difference, quieting this, and really reinforcing the power so that you can reach. And if you do that, your life is more fulfilling. The more you honor your self importance, the more you step into your purpose, it is more fulfilling. And the more fulfilled and the more satisfied and the more happy and on purpose you are, the more success you have, the more flourishing your relationships. Everything responds to and comes to you. And oh, I just love this. I love this. I hate that we're getting to the end. Okay, so people know how to find you. And then my favorite thing to ask before we go is, considering where you're at now, what you're thinking about for the future, how would you end the sentence? I am the one who.
Ooh, that is good. I am the one who changes the world for women.
I love that. I love that so much. And it's so true. It
I'm
is.
the one.
Mhm.
Yeah. Believe me, it's hard to get out there and put yourself on social media and do. I'm used to the corporate world now. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the one, though. I'm
Mhm.
answering the call. I'm the one. That's it.
Yeah. And I want to say that every voice needs to be heard, whether your voice is written, whether your voice is spoken, whether it's in your own form of art, whether it's you develop music, whether you become, I don't know, a farmer, your specific
Yeah.
art
Yes.
contributes to the world. And she did. She left corporate to come and create this because she knows her calling. You are. And on one of my other podcasts we were doing this morning, we were discussing you will you are changing the world because the more you change, everything around you changes, and then we will never know the ripple effects. We will never know. We will never be able to know how far you're choosing yourself and you choosing your sovereignty and choosing your power and then using your voice in your specific beautiful way, it does change the world. It changes every interaction with you, and every interaction with you has the ability to spread and change the world. And I love that. You're changing the world. This was so good, Tiffani. I have loved this.
I have loved this, Lisa. This is
Mm.
amazing. Thank you so much for having me on. It means the absolute
Yes.
world.
Thank you for listening, you guys. We will definitely see you again soon and have a wonderful day.